Hey guys, hopefully this video finds everybody doing well and healthy given what's going on in the world. But I finally have the car in the garage after a little bit of hiatus. Um, had some side work come through. I had a 34 Ford in here that I was doing a little bit of work on. And finally getting back to the Jaguar again, trying to get the remaining parts of the maintenance done on it. I did the engine overhaul. I did the transmission. I did extensive amounts of work on the rear axle, upgrading it and putting all new bearings in it, and a whole bunch of new bushings and sway bar links, and just a lot of new parts in general. Just trying to get this thing 100% as new as I can get it, so that it's reliable for long trips and whatnot. And one of the things I neglected was the ball joints, so I'm doing the ball joints and the wheel bearings now, and those are the two last major wear items that I have to take care of. Um, I had to make a couple things to do the ball joints. One of them was this tool that I ended up turning on the lathe and then cutting a notch in it to fit around this little flat in the lower control arm, and it fits on there pretty good. It's not perfect by any means, but not bad for quick and dirty on the lathe. And it allows the cap to come up just proud of the lower control arm. So the new joints are in, the new ball joints are in. They were a pain in the butt. They were very difficult to do, more so than I would expect. So one side's done. I have to do the other side tomorrow. It's getting kind of late now, so that's the reason I'm making the update video. But and then the wheel bearing, I did manage to get that pressed apart, and I have the inner race still on the hub. I got to grind that off, and I'll obviously press it back together tomorrow. I had to make this adapter setup, basically a receiver that you can put the hub on or the spindle on, and then press the wheel bearing out. So I did that today. I have a couple more things I'm going to do while it's in the garage on the lift. This is the Sonax valve. This valve is pretty neat. It does a couple things for you. It provides constant lubrication at idle. The 480 is not set up to have any cooler flow at idle. So this valve allows the hole in the middle. The stock valve doesn't have that. It allows the hole basically allows the cooler flow at idle, and it'll cool the transmission while it's sitting there idling. So it makes it run a little bit cooler. It also takes care of the issue with the torque converter clutch hanging up. There's a known problem with 480s that the applied overpowers the disengaged circuit on the torque converter clutch, and so it'll cause it to, you'll be in drive and you'll be stopped, and your engine RPM will be a little bit lower than normal, and it's because the clutch is basically mostly disengaged, but it still drags a little bit, and it'll cause it just enough of a drag to cause it to run at a slightly lower RPM, and it can actually cause the car to stall as well. I mean, it can drag it down enough to where it'll stall the engine out if you have a big cam and stuff. So yeah, I'm changing that out to the newer style design, and that should take care of all the issues with that. I was getting a slight amount of torque converter drag, or the clutch drag, so hopefully that'll take care of everything there. And then a couple other little tiny things on the list here that I wanted to get kind of wrapped up. So I did the ball joints are halfway there. The wheel bearings, obviously, you guys saw the regular valve. You saw the battery. It's a year-old battery, but it swelled up this winter, so it's done. I got to replace it. I'm gonna put an AGM in it. The cooling fan relay is just a mod I'm gonna do because it's in a bad spot right now. It's above the exhaust, and it's giving me trouble. It's a stock Jaguar relay, and the high side portion of it has died. They put the high side and low side in one relay, so it's giving me trouble. So I'm probably gonna go to two separate relays like they do on the stock GM vehicles. And it does the same thing either way, but it just if you have a problem with the GM side, you can replace each individual relay separately compared to the Jaguar, where it's all one ginormous relay, and they're difficult to get. It's a kind of a custom relay with all the diodes and everything. So the power door lock is an intermittent concern with the solenoid sticking on it, or basically not traveling up and down to unlock the vehicle. So I want to it's just the rear driver side that's doing it. So I'm assuming it's just the door lock actuator itself. So I'm gonna get in there and do that. I gotta put some front tires on it. The air conditioning, I vacuumed it down last year, and I went through the trouble of double checking all my fittings, and I applied compressed air to it, and bubble checked everything. But I never actually got around to doing the final vacuum on it and putting Freon in it. So I'm going to take care of that, and then I'm probably going to put a small subwoofer and amp setup in the trunk, just because the stereo does lack a fair amount of bass. And it's got nice speakers in it. The speakers sound great actually from the factory, even with my cheesy Android head unit. It sounds pretty good, and I did put an amplifier in it. It's got a 75 watt times 4 amplifier. I mean, that's the marketing wank anyway. It's probably not actually 75 watts, but and it sounds okay. It's one of the new mini amps that Pioneer makes, and Kenwood, and a whole bunch of companies make the same style amp. But so I'm gonna get around to doing some stereo work on it, and obviously I still have like little things like this to clean up, or that's one of my antenna wires for my keyless entry system. Um, so that's kind of what's going on right now with the car. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get all this stuff done this weekend, or a majority of it done this weekend. But it might not happen. I'm still working right now, which I know a lot of people are not currently working because of what's going on. But I probably have another week left before they shut our shop down, just because we're considered essential. I work for a Department of Defense contractor, so that's there might be more videos coming in the future if we end up getting laid off, and it'll give me a little bit of time to kind of shake out some of the stuff on this, and I'll make some more videos of it and try to get this thing 100%, just in case Power Tour goes through. If the world doesn't end, they might do Power Tour still, and I would really like to go. I think it'd be a lot of fun in this car, especially with if I get the AC fixed, it won't be miserable. So that's what's going on my side of things right now, and I didn't have a chance to do much in the way of videos and stuff during winter. So hopefully now that summer's coming and spring, here I'll get a little more time to shake out some videos and get a little more done on the car. So that's it for now, and I will hopefully put up more videos, not too far in the near future here.